got Wimbledon, we've got the Ashes, and then the Grand Prix, 480,000 people over the 3-4 days. It's just remarkable. I don't know where people get the money from, number one, and where the interest or the energy to go to it. But that's what was there, and it was a huge race, great for Britain. Second and third, it's been a long time since that happened. And you could say that's like winning first and second, because Max, is going to win every race, and he's just so dominant, so brilliant, so talented. Everything is right for him, and it's just, the show is just going to keep going on like this.
Eddie, what about Martin Brundle in the grid? Have you seen what happened?
No, I haven't. You're going to tell me. But remember, Martin drove for me way back in 88, 83, so I have to be respectful to him.
Well, he does the grid walk, and he does it brilliantly, and he goes around talking to everybody. And there was a supermodel there. How you pronounce the name, Nat?
Cara Delevingne.
Cara Delevingne.
Yeah,
and he's gone,
Cara,
can you have a word? Can I have a word? She went, no. Can I have a word again? No. Can I have a word? No. And he turns to the camera and says, well, it wouldn't have been interesting anyway. So...
He won't get many more. He won't get many of the supermodels coming to him if that's the case. Cara Delevingne, she is a great girl. I actually do know this girl, and I interviewed her in Monaco some years ago, and I found her fine. So I'll have to give Marty a bit of a rubbing that she did it for me, but didn't do it for him. But anyway, let's move on.
You've obviously got the charm, Eddie, and
well,
clearly
I do know her sister, Polly, used to be a model for my daughter in her fashion business. So it's a kind of incestuous little business, So we all have to stick together.
Yes.
We're all Marty.
Yeah.
And you can tell Marty that I set him up for that, will you please?
we will. But you mentioned there, obviously, Verstappen cruising to yet another victory, and it's kind of now expected he's going to be doing that for the rest of this season. But Lando Norris, tell us about that performance and how exciting a future he might have in the sport.
Well, what was lovely about Silverstone, because I went for a little walk on Friday night, and I bumped into this guy, and I thought, I think I remember this man. And it was Nando's father, and we chatted about what he had sacrificed and the kids, and here he was, and he was expecting a good weekend, but I bet you he never realized it was going to be as good as it was. Because for me, the thing that stood out, and I think all of us here who understand sport and the commitment and also the pressure, he must have known with 15 laps to go that he was on the wrong tires. But he dismissed it out of his mind. He made himself believe that these tires were going to be as good and he could still finish second. I personally didn't think he could do that. I really didn't think he could do that. So that was the outstanding moment for me, to finish just a couple of seconds behind, well, more than a couple, but nevertheless, he held his position in second place, and he pulled away from Lewis, to be very honest, when Lewis was putting up a bit of a charge, and Lewis was on the softer tires, which absolutely are quicker. And must have been quicker, but Lewis must have been very surprised. I saw what he said about Nando, which was hugely complimentary, and that is that he put his head down and he just went for it. And so that was the moment that really made it for me in the race, I must say. Piastri, the young kid, Mark Webber's new protege coming over from Australia, a young boy, no one ever gave him a chance to finish fourth at Silverstone. My God, that was unbelievable, in front of all the Ferraris, in front of the Astons, in front of everybody. So a great day for McLaren, brilliant for them, congratulations. But the show goes on. Max Verstappen, the roller coaster, shows no sign of giving up. And the person who does seem to be giving up is Perez. I'm really disappointed what's happened in his qualifying positions over the last couple of races. And his seat definitely, it's in jeopardy for sure. Somebody will be looking at that. Right. I know what Red Bull are like. They don't take that kind of situation too lightly.
Eddie, I've got my eye on George Russell as well. I mean, do you think in the future he's going to be a superstar? I know he's a star now, but...
Yeah, great question. My view is that he's probably just going through that little transition. You football, and you see great people coming into a team and say, oh, he's going to do it. And then you see the under-21s or something, and they do them brilliantly. Not everyone makes the transition to the next level. And so there's a lot of fight left to do. But at the same time, he has a fantastic foundation, to be in Mercedes at this early stage, to be learning all of the tricks and all of the little maneuvers that Lewis knows and has learned over the 7 world titles that he had. I started off being a little bit skeptical about George, and he has won me over easy peasy, because I think that beginning of the year and late last year, what he did to Lewis and how he tackled his teammate was amazing, and that's there. So you can't just lose that. He has it in abundance, and I think he will go on to be a champion. I think he will be a champion, in my opinion, because Max is going to get fed up and go away and do something else, and then it's between Nando and George. In my opinion, that seems to be the kind of thing. And who knows what Piastri will do? But those two British guys, they're right there, absolutely for sure.